guys. Great to be back doing dive with you. It's been a crazy month. Guys. How are you today?
Here I'm fine. Uh, every day a new challenge, every month a new year,
Yep.
and then the season. It's really great to be here, and that's it. That's it. Day by day, surviving and working and get better product.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, today it has been a long year, so
Yeah, I think
that's
this is a good thing to share with people watching the past week, which, by the way, was the week I returned after 1 month with COVID. But the past week was crazy hard for all the leadership team. I believe for the whole team. Maybe we will discover more. Victor maybe can share his perspective, but to the point that the first thing we said today in our leadership channel was, let's stick to the routine this week. Let's not do anything new or hard. Let's just recover from the past week. How did the vibe of the challenges we faced last week get into the production floor? Let's call it like that, Victor.
um, I think we have. I think at the production or on the perspective of design, I think we have this challenge of having a lot of challenges, invisible challenges that we couldn't see at the time, but we need to make this normal feeling going.
Yeah.
This vibe of, okay, we need to work every day, we need to finish what we have, we have jobs to to be done. And this is most important for us is about like making everything more seamless and trying to not get so much trouble with these challenges, but knowing that we have this thing, these guys with you're the guy of the vision, talk with the client, and but I think our team was really prepared to get all the challenge done. So I think it's kind of that.
Yeah, that's that's a great interpretation, right? You have to kind of keep a straight face while you're navigating something that you've never done before. And since we work with startups, that's a constant in our company, right? Because our clients are most of the time doing things they've never done before also, and they are hiring us to help them navigate this. And then we kind of have to balance keeping the straight face and knowing, okay, this challenge will the solution will come when the time when it's time to for us to solve this problem, but also being vulnerable with everybody involved, and sharing that it is hard. That's not easy. We don't when I say we need to keep a straight face, is not because we need to pretend to our clients that we know what we're doing. We already know enough, right? We know a lot, so we don't need to pretend we know more than we do. But the straight face is for us to remember that we'll fuck up, our clients will fuck up, the market will fuck up, a lot of things will go bad. We'll have, if we want to spend our whole life putting out fires, we can, but we have to choose not to, right? That's that's my way of seeing, of interpreting what you said. Am I too far off?
No, I don't think so. I really like it, and that about the season is about the process, not the solution. I think it is really important thing. We don't work like just focusing on the solution, getting the okay, just the best code or the best solution, the best
Design.
website now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about the best design. It's more about the process. Seeing design not like the UI, just the layout, but more about the process. How we have this relationship with our client, how we have this better process, because today or tomorrow will be completely different from today, and maybe even today will be different from like the morning will be completely different at the night. So I
Yeah.
think what you said about the vulnerability, about the process, I really like this, and I really think this is the most important thing.
Here's one thought that I use to myself almost every day that I think helps a lot is I could think about, do we have the best process in place to deal with this? And and if it is the best process, I would be um, I don't know, fine about it, even in the middle of a fire, right? But that's not the thing that I check with myself is, do we have the right people on the right positions? And if so, sometimes you have the right people in the wrong position, you have to make a move. But and sometimes you have the wrong people, and then no matter the position, it won't be good. Even though I believe for everyone there is a position that we work, we just sometimes not the right time to be in our company, right? It may be a position somewhere else. But every day when I wake up and I see everything that's happening at the company, what I can see, right? Because there are things that I don't see, but what I see, I have to think to myself, is this person the right person for the job? Are they in the right position? If so, I can only trust. And this has been a daily thing for me, literally every day, every day thinking this. And it's much better than process. It's, I wouldn't say better, it's much more important, more fundamental than process. So in a relationship with clients, for example, we can think, oh my god, our process is kind of a mess, or we need to improve our process, etc., etc. But if the client thinks that we're the right team for them, they will tolerate uh, a mess of a process for a while, of course, because uh, the idea is that the right team will create better processes.
Yeah, and this is about, for me, it's about culture. Like, what kind of culture are you building at in your company and with your clients? And I think what we have this last month and proved a lot of about our culture, dealing with these problems, with these challenges, with this completely insane year that we
Yeah.
have. Uh, and yeah, and it's a really good discussion about culture. I think how we can build this better culture. How can we build this invisible software that connect us, because we are not even in the same city. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have clients. Yeah, United States, Brazil. We have our team all around Brazil. And this is really great because we need to build this digital remote culture, and it's really hard. And when this just a small thing, that's not a small thing, but when we have this challenge, okay, all the process we have or we had for the last month, we don't have anymore. we need to get a new way to do things, a new way to talk with the clients. We need a new way to get the best solution, and for me it's about that, like building a culture.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't remember. I think it was on Friday. I had a one-on-one meeting with Pedro, our head of culture, and the way I ended it, it was truly genuine. I ended it saying, "Man, I'm so glad you're here. Like, I'm so glad you're here." Because this is something that Felipe and I haven't had a chance to discuss yet. So it's gonna be interesting to discuss it live. But when I got sick with COVID about a month and a few days ago, a month ago, and in a week, we had one company. When I got back, we had another company, in the sense that there was a growth spurt happening. We were hiring many people, and we consolidated those hires, and we hired a few more while I was away. This other company is a company in a size, and especially a culture and format, like more distributed processes, autonomy, etc., that I haven't had before. So one interesting thing is that in my relationship with Felipe as a partner, for example, I was always the guy that been there, done that in the relationship, because Season is my eighth company, but all my companies were small companies. And now I can honestly say that I don't have a blueprint for anything we do anymore. It feels, in one side it feels good, but from on the other hand, it's I'm really used to have control over things, or at least think I have control over things. And in this sense, it's new. It's totally new, and then culture becomes really, really important. And while I was very proud of Pedro being here with us as a head of culture, someone that's seeing things from a perspective that us, either the visionaries or the operators, won't have the same perspective that he has. I was at the same time feeling proud of myself for bringing him on a year and a half ago, when I thought that one day this would happen. So it's an adventure. It's an adventure.
Yeah, that's really great. I kind of write some questions, and I have a question here, like, what has changed in the last 10 years from the perspective of digital product? And what do you expect from the next 2 years? And this question kind of like change everything now, what we are talking about this culture thing, the challenges about COVID. And okay, we can pass away, we can need to get away, we need to just do some vacation, we need to go to vacation sometimes, we don't need to. It's really kind of not health culture to get everything on control. I'm not saying you had everything on control. I'm just
I just
it's
thought
more
I had.
about like
I just like to think I had.
Okay, no, you don't. Not anymore. But I think this really good thing to rethink, to rethought, like, okay, what changed like in the last 10 years, but what you expect from the next 2 years in this new season, in this new more autonomy, more distributed, distribute with more distribution of power of anything in season.
I'm going to start with what I expect. I expect us to. I think I said this on another dive episode, but I expect us to work with amazing people, and amazing not necessarily only in the sense of amazingly talented, like great um, great people, people that we would like to be friends with, and that's a constant, regardless of what the future brings, because we don't know what the future will bring. and and I expect us to grow, because I already know that the things we are going after as a company, like having great quality of life for the people that work with us, like having a very diverse team, all the things that we've been discussing, they need us to be for it to be very sustainable, we need to be bigger as a company. So I really expect us to grow and to work with amazing people. Not grow as fast as we did the last couple of months, hopefully, but hopefully I'm not in control of that also. Yeah, those are the two things I expect for the future. I don't know what will change in terms of digital products, etc., etc. I think e-commerce and direct consumer will grow. That's a prediction I can make in terms of future, but it's way out of my expertise to predict this kind of thing. About the past, what changed? There's one thing that's interesting, Victor, that you will relate a lot. The biggest change I think I noticed in product development, apart of course from the development in technology, like technology is much better than 10 years ago, but in terms of culture and market and the economy of product development, there's one thing that I could get away with 10 years ago that I can't anymore, which is with launching products that don't have a great design. My standard practice in the beginning, like 10 years ago or earlier, was first I build the software, the solution, and then I improve the design. I only bring a designer to the team later, in part because I have some design skills, right? I can do the bare minimum by myself, but in part because the audience didn't. The bar was lower. The bar was raised so much higher in terms of design in the past 10 years. That's the biggest one for me. What's changed for you? I know you've been doing this for more than 10 years also.
Yeah, I have this branding service design background, and I think almost everything changes because in like 2007 or something like that, we were like more just focusing the beautiful, the most beautiful design, or the most trendy design, or the new colors or the new elements, or and how we can make this feels like a better content or a better product. That doesn't make more sense. It really doesn't make any sense anymore, because it's not more about like doing this to make this more beautiful, but more purposeful, with more thinking about. We need to think more about the business model. We need to think about the customer. We just make this, or we create a digital product or any product without thinking and working with our customer. That doesn't make any sense, I think. And I'm talking about like the entrepreneurship vision. Yeah. And that for me really changed. We need to get this not a black box, design in a black box. Like, okay, this is my way of designing things. This is my, like an artist view.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm the painter, I'm the designer. No, that doesn't make any sense. That because we need to work with our client, we need to work with the devs. We are a team. We have this same uh, uh, the same goal, the same vision to improve this product, to deliver more, to deliver more value. And that really changed because 10 years ago, we just thought, okay, I'm the designer, they are the developer, they are like the entrepreneur, like, okay, everything's in your team, your silo and your group. And in in the meantime, you are going to discuss something. You're going to,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna ship you, I'm gonna hand off this design. That doesn't make any sense. We need to make this seamless. We need to make this one thing.
Yeah, and one team, right?
In one team. In one team. We need to talk with. I don't know if the better name now it's client. It's like I really need to rethink about
You
that.
need to involve all stakeholders, right? When you're designing something, you need to know and involve all stakeholders. The client is just one, right? The developers, everybody's is part of the design process when we do it right.
No, it's about what you talked about the last, I know the last minutes about the culture, about the process, how we design this process, how we design this way of doing things, and not seeing as like the just seeing as like just one small part of the process. We are all the process because
Yeah.
we need to deliver value. It's about that delivering value. So this really changes. This really changes.
Yeah, but it's still rare. Would you agree with that? It's still rare to
Yeah.
find, especially when we're talking about small businesses and businesses that work with small businesses, startups, entrepreneurs, etc. It's rare to have this. For one great example of this is when a founder comes to us and says, no, we already have the design, we just need you to code, right? They hired a freelancer or someone. This doesn't work, period. I mean, it can work when the development team knows how to adapt the design that was created originally, but the development team usually is not that good unless you find that unicorn of a developer that knows back end, front end design and all the things. Usually is an entrepreneur that did it by herself once at least. But unless you find that person, we're gonna have to say to that founder, all right, that is great that you have a design, because design is design. It shows us your idea, shows us your concept in a great way. But with that being said, our team will have designers that will work on top of your design. And if we need to change it and if we need to adapt, the team will be there. Because one part that I didn't say, it's usually they say, oh no, but I already have the design, because they're trying to say, we don't need your design team, so you can charge us less. We won't need the designer, so you can charge us less. Then my answer is usually no. It's the opposite. If I don't have my design team, I'll charge you more.
There's so many layers to that process of designing. Like usually when it comes ready, it's like a concept repeated across many screens. That's not a product. Like the flow of a product, it's something so hard to get. So hard, but so hard in so many different levels. In some parts, we need the blueprints, like the exact details that you need to develop, and that part you can be sure that no design will have, just because it's not how that works.
The transition, the transition screen, like you have one screen and then magically the other, but there's a transition between the two that involves, I don't know, maybe 5 different possible screens depending on the action. Usually that design that was created originally, that did not have the input from developers or from someone that knows the development process, a designer that knows a lot about the development process. Usually there will be holes in the design. You can feel, even if you have a clickable prototype or something, you can feel like you have the complete experience there, but you usually have like 20% of the experience, because there are so many scenarios in a software product that if you try to design them up front, first of all, it would be too expensive. Second of all, the scenarios would change and you would have to redesign them again.
I think that the most important word you just said, and what Felipe said too, it for me, I was like thinking, and it's about the experience. Experience has no end point. There is no end point. Like, it's experience. Okay,
Yeah.
now you're going to go to Disney and your experience is going to finish. No way. You have this like I experience for 20 years 20 years in your life. When you go just one time to Disney, you are going to get this for the rest of your life. And this changed everything. And the concept of design, or a UI, a user interface, having ending point. Okay, now it's finished, and now I will deliver. No, it's just starting.
Yeah.
You're just starting a story. You're starting to communicate with your user. You're going to discover a lot of things then after you ship, after you start work.
Yep.
So
And that's why we need to make sure we start earlier, right? It's a good example. I don't know if you're working on this, Victor. I don't think so, but they want to create a different experience for teens. And just as a context, this is an app for kids in school to make emotional check-ins, and then the educators can triage them and give the kids that need the most attention and care. But the whole process was created for children, and the teenagers in schools, they don't like the experience. They feel it is lame, silly. And now we need to create a teen experience that is different. Our team's first reaction when we got the feedback from teens was, we need to get this right, because otherwise they won't use it. And we've been working the past week to change that mindset to, we need to come up with a hypothesis, and that hypothesis needs to be simple. We need to get it wrong, probably, but wrong in a way that helps us learn. And of course, we want to get it right. We want the teams to love it and use it and not feel it is lame, right? But we are not teenagers. We cannot know what they will like. What we can is give them something and see if they will use it. If they are using it and they are loving it, then we say, okay, right. If they are not, we ask them why. And maybe the answer they give us a clue. Probably not. Probably we're gonna have to test it again and again and again and again. So imagine if we spent a month working on what we think is the perfect design for the teens. It would most probably be a waste of effort. unless, of course, unless we're lucky. Sometimes we are, but we cannot count on luck.
Yeah, design is more like editing the failing, the fail and the mistakes and the errors. Like you need to edit this, you need to learn fast, you need to work with all the stakeholders, you need to work your customer, and this is really great when you have like the speed, the agile team to work and to product and to deliver this really fast. And I think this is really great for me. It's been a really great pleasure to be in the season, because we have this. Okay, this changed now. Devs, come on, let's rethink about that.
Yeah.
We need to find another solution. Okay, the client said that we just discovered that, and my first design now just I lost everything that I just designed. But that is no problem. I was talking with Larusso. Larusso said something like, there is no, you're never going to lost any value when you're designing something, because even when you do this wrong, even when you just make a big mistake, and there is no, you don't lost any value in this process, because you are always learning about the product, about your client, about the process, about developing, about finding new solutions, better solutions, more agile solutions, because now it's a really challenge time, because like, yes, we need to change everything. I think for close gap, the COVID situation make this bigger necessity and needs to change everything, and to rethink everything, to talk with a new segment, a new customer, because it's happened. It's a new scenario, and you need to learn everything from scratch probably. But you have this small, fine process that you can just deliver more value.
We have 20 minutes, and I really wanted us to explore the the question we were talking about on our vision call on Friday, about the divergent part of design versus the convergent, and how can we have a process that embraces both, but in a very agile way, in order to first to keep working with startups that need to test their hypothesis. Some people call this like two-track agile, double-track agile, and there is of course design thinking with the first diamond, second diamond, and the divergent part of the diamond, the convergent part of the diamond. And I think we're getting closer to this, but we need to be like the extreme version of this, because we work with very small and fast-paced companies. But I really wanted us to dedicate a few minutes to try and actually work on this together, to see if we can solve a few of those issues. The problem, I'm gonna state the problem, try to state the problem before we try to come up with the solution. The problem is, if we start implementing things, creating the solution without first thinking it through in a more divergent way, like thinking about the options, thinking, if we just go straight ahead to execution, we will on many occasions have to redo the execution, because we didn't reach our goals, be it satisfying the taste of our clients, because sometimes it's a matter of taste. We created a solution that works, but it's not, the clients don't love it visually, either of the actual goal of the product, like the teens using the check-in in this example. With that being said, if we spend too much time on the divergent process, two things can happen. The first one is we can um, be too much in our heads, like trying to create something without actually putting it into the world to get feedback. But the second one is the one that worries me the most because it's trickier, which is we can dedicate the resources for that instead of dedicating it to help the team build what's currently being built. When we talk about two tracks, there is the development track and the discovery track. Yeah, that I think that's how they call it on double track agile.
Yeah.
If we dedicate time to this discovery part when we had a need in the development part, we might mess up this process, and without this process there's no reason for us to diverge. We might lose the main flow. First of all, did I describe the problem well? Do you want to add to it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. This is a really it's my my next big challenge in season to work in, because we have this promise, we have this statement to delivery. Like we never can just, we can't stop delivering code and shipping. We need to make this like every day, every time, because we need to put this product on streets, and people need to get this product on their hands. And but we have to make this vision and try to find these new opportunities, these discoveries, this we have this challenge now, because the clients, most of the time the clients, no, not most of the time, but sometimes clients ask something to us like, okay, this is a delivery, and we get this, okay, maybe this is a really delivery, I don't think so, maybe we need to get this, we need to search more about that, to research more about this what you're asking, because it's not maybe too mature, or it's not wrong. It's about, this is a really important thing of, we need to say that some almost of the times, like, this is not wrong, it's not a wrong question, like the feature is not wrong, but maybe if we have this time, we have this, okay, let's think about that, let's think about this feature. This feature makes sense now, this feature makes sense to our segment, to our value, to our metrics. It's a really important thing too. This feature makes sense in our roadmap, this feature makes sense what we are building here. And so most of times we need to try to identify, this is a delivery, this is a discovery opportunity. And it's really hard, because sometimes you look that you look for the new feature, you, okay, let's implement this, let's develop this, let's design this. And when you're designing, okay, there's this problem and this problem, this new challenge, that, but we just made this feature last month, and it is kind of has this connecting point with, but it's not working too much. And we sometimes, we had this client, we have this we have the project last month that we have the opportunity to explore more, to have this workshop and making like a new alignment, but alignment with hands-on. That's really important. Like what we designed, what we worked on this workshop was was a discovery, but was a discovery looking to delivery. So this is really important to always trying to get this in the right way.
Yeah, and I think this last example that you mentioned, where we had the workshop, there's one thing that was done well. First of all, we have a client that knows that he cannot rush this process. So first of all, we have in this situation a very mature client that really knows, no, here we cannot rush, but here we need to be fast. So he knows it. So it's easier to do it in this situation. But we did something well also. We said, okay, for this more creative design or divergent part of the process, let's not put a date on it. Let's start the development, the delivery process. Let's call it, as you said, the delivery and discovery. Let's start the delivery process with what we have, with what we know, what we already discovered. And then, since we know that this other thing is more creative, more subtle, and more personal, in the sense that we needed to create something that the client and his stakeholders loved, and then it's more like the artist's work that we were discussing yesterday, earlier today. For this part of the process, let's not rush it. So we were able to say it. And as you said, it's hard to know when we need to say to the client, well, let's take a step back here, and when to say to the client, let's dive into the execution right away. But in the end, it's our job to guide the client in that. Of course, if the client says, no, I have no time to waste, I don't want to think too much about this, which is, for example, the case for the team check-in. We know we have a challenge, but strategically, for the client, it's not worth to invest too much on this. This is a demand they're trying to fill because people are asking for it, but it's not their priority. And it depends on discovery also at the same time. So in this situation, we can say, okay, let's do a little bit of discovery and then go to delivery. In other situations, we can say, oh no, doesn't matter your priorities. If we don't invest in discovery, it's gonna turn out bad. Because the pieces won't fit in together, just like you were mentioning. You start implementing and then you say, this is weird. In the end, we started talking about process on Friday, right? We're trying to find a process for this. But in the end, the decision making between when to go to one or the other seems to be like the hardest part. When should we advise the client to go straight to execution? When should we advise the client to go to discovery first, a long discovery, for example? And what to do when the client says, no, I don't want to do the discovery, or the opposite, when the client wants to spend a whole lot of time on discovery and we don't get to execution, right? This is, I think this is the hardest part of our job in terms of production.
And understanding like the client, what are their needs, like ties back to value, like what are the business needs, what's the value, do they need more value in terms of seeing things, do they need to get more experience testing stuff instead of seeing stuff, and maybe we just have to go to execution so they can feel it. Like are they, where are they in their journey of discovery? Like, what are the costs? How can we best communicate, in our experience, the value? How to communicate the value? That's a very tricky question. And how to communicate the costs, maybe not as tricky as the value, but also tricky. Uh, in the end, how to best support them to make a decision, and then dive together in whatever it is, the path that they chose, and support them as best we can in that, with our part of the responsibility, them with theirs, and see how we can dance.
It's about trust. I think Daniel talked a few minutes later. Like, it's about trust. Sometimes we need to trust in our gut. Sometimes we just going to see this getting a little weird. So there is no recipe. Like there is no clearly process here or design solution, and we really need to be present, and we need to really to have this connection with our client, to talking every time we can, and trying to find the right metrics, the right value that we want to deliver to our stakeholders, to our customer. And when we have this trust and this vision, and we are really have this clear mind, this clear vision, what value you want to deliver, this is going to be pretty easier to know the moment we need to stop, or we need to move things away. We need to, okay, no, this is just a feature, let's deliver it. No, this is a opportunity. We need to discover more about what is behind of this feature, what we can make, how we can make a better experience from this feature. And what you are talking about, like the communicating value, and how we deliver this value, is all about that. Like, well, we are a feature factor, or we are a delivery value company. Like, we need to deliver value, and we deliver value with code, we deliver value with design, we deliver value with features, we deliver value with digital products. And when we have this gut, okay, this is going to be weird, no, okay, let's stop. But it's about trusting ourselves. It's about how we can build this trust with our clients too, and with our customers too.
Yeah. And one thing you mentioned a few minutes ago, that this is the next big thing you're gonna work and you're gonna create. I wanted to emphasize that from where I stand, which is not too close to the production nowadays, I think this is the next big thing we need to work in terms of production as a whole, not as a company, because I wouldn't say we need to work, because I think we've been working on it this whole year, and the last year we didn't have the need to work on it because we didn't have ongoing clients, which was a huge difference. So for clients that were not ongoing, it was like a short sprint, and then we will launch a product, and then they would have to learn and go their way, like raising funds, et cetera, for the next round. But right now, since we're working with clients that are already generating revenue enough, and can have a team on an ongoing situation, there's no way we could avoid this. And I think this is the best investment we can do, at least when you're talking about the process of production right now.
And we need to be agile, we need to be lean, we need to deliver, we need to discover everything. at the same time. That's why it's a really big challenge, because it's going to change our way to think, our way to work, our way to have this relationship with our client and stakeholders, and we need to make this with in a purposeful way with our clients, not just make a better process, not just delivering the more feature. We don't. I think like I don't like the thought about like we are going to deliver more features in a more agile way. No, it's not. It's really trick way of thinking. Maybe if we spend like 1 week or 2 week more, that seems like really big time. But when you see the value what of this
Yeah.
feature is delivering, it will in a year, in a 6 month, or in a 3 month will make a really difference. And I really don't want to, like a designer, don't fuck up with the process, with the developing with our devs. And when the discovery that doesn't have end to, so we need
Yeah.
to get this. We have this. We need to know the right metrics. We need to know the right vision. We need to know this the right the right vision to how we are going to find this moment, this features.
To me, it's clear also that there's no way this is going to be a top-down process.
Yep.
So relating like to the beginning, do we have the right people in place, like with the right skills, experience, swimming in the right culture, and with the resources, so that we have like both like this trust, that in a way that we build trust, that we build innovation by experimenting with this process, and then in a way that we can share what's working in a project to another project, and how to translate that, and who are the key figures, or what are the key points that need to be addressed to, like, so that this can emerge, but at the same time not just stay localized and working in one place and not working in another, and but also not generalize so much that it gets diluted and it can be applied anymore. So, yeah, it's tricky.
All right. Um, this is the kind of dive that I like the most, where we're actually really working and hearing my daughter scream. And this is a great opportunity for us to learn and at the same time share with the audience what we are doing, because just as we like to feel we have the right people in place in the right positions, I think when people see what we are trying to accomplish, and knowing that we're trying to accomplish something that's really hard, but we're thinking it through and we're working on it, they will first feel like, all right, I need to think more about what I need to accomplish. This is the main goal. Like I need to, this is harder. Not to discourage anyone, but this is more complex than I was thinking. It's not a factory. It's not something that I can just hire and it will be delivered in my home, right? And it's great when we actually achieve the goal of working together in the sessions. I think it's become much more apparent, and thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I always try to think like there is any issue or any problem to not knowing. The problem of about not knowing, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the problem is not knowing. You are always going to learn something. The problem is not that. It's our time to start. But the problem it's not know you don't know about things. If you know that you don't know about design or about entrepreneurship, about coding, this is the best way to get things. And that is it's a great pleasure to talk about design, about our challenge, about design in season, like what you're doing now, what you are thinking about design with our this culture about the delivering value, a lot of value. So we have a lot of challenges for the next month and the next years. It's really great.
Yeah, for the next 20 years at least.
Yeah,
Thank you so
great.
much.
It's good to know.
We'll talk next week again. And everybody watching, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. See ya.